Hello everyone, welcome back to Unit 4, Section 3, where we talk about intermittent fasting and how intermittent fasting can actually help you in your weight loss. Okay, so oftentimes fasting has been a practice for religious, political, and health reasons, and that has been going on for centuries. A lot of people have been practicing fasting, like I mentioned, for different reasons, right? Either religious, political, and we don't realize it. We've been using fasting as well for health reasons. Here I have a great quote that you can find on the Egyptian pyramid 3,800 years BC. This is what it says. Man lives on a quarter of what he eats. On the other 3/4 lives his doctor. That's not what you want for your life. This is why it's very, very important. And I have a fantastic story that often growing up, we can observe living in a small village. We have all these animals. And when an animal is sick, do you know what these animals actually do? They stop eating. They fast. In contrary, human beings, when they are sick, what they do the most is actually put more food into their body. We have to really be careful about this. So fasting is actually very important. So here we mentioned the plates that we have before, how your plate should looks like. And the suggestion made by the Physician Committee of Responsible Medicine, like I mentioned earlier, actually suggests that our plate be more plant-based diet that will actually help people live better. Because we know that animal products are actually the source of many of our diseases, as I mentioned earlier, problems such as cancer or cardiovascular disease. You don't have these type of problems following a plant-based diet. Okay, so now let's look at this. You saw this picture on section on Unit 2 when we talk about diabetes. Very simple process here. Every time you eat, the food will be changed into sugar, whatever you are eating. And the insulin is the one that will take the sugar and bring it to the cell. But let's just jumpstart it and just go all the way to the end. What is happening is at the end of the day, when now the fat is formed, it is stored in the form of what we call glycogen here. Okay, at one point in time, the body needs to break down that fat and make the sugar available to come back here into the bloodstream here. So what is this important? What is important here is what? Is that when you go through the fasting, right, this process will be taking place and your body will not need to have more insulin produced and taking the sugar to the cell or to the muscle. You won't need to do that anymore, right? So that then we understand why fasting is actually important, because now the body will actually use energy sources, and in the process you are losing weight, and in the process as well you are actually healing your body. The body is able to heal itself through fasting. Now this is why we now talk about intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting, what is it? I put a definition for you here. Is an eating pattern that cycles between periods of fasting and eating. So there are different ways that you can do it, and we will have a way that we will suggest you to do at one point of time in the program that works perfectly. Let's look at here. These are the main three methods that people use. The first one is called the 16-8 method, right? It involves skipping breakfast and restricting your daily eating period to 2 to 8 hours, maybe 1 to 9 p.m. Then you fast for 16 hours between. So it can be 16-8, as I mentioned here, or it can be 18-6 or 20-12. It's not really the most popular. It's not necessarily the one that are shown to be the most effective, but some people do it and it's okay for them as well. The second one is what they call eat, stop, eat. This involves fasting for 24 hours, once or twice a week. For example, by not eating from dinner one day until dinner the next day. So I kind of put it on the table here. It's a method that you can use as well. For example, you're fasting on Monday and on Tuesday you're eating. You're fasting on a Wednesday and on Thursday you're eating. And then maybe just become a cycle as a definition that we gave in the beginning. It's also another method. This one is probably the most popular method, and that's the one that we will be using in the last stage of the program with you, not on the early stage though, so don't worry about this. The 5-2 diet, with this method, you consume 500 to 600 calories on 2 consecutive days of the week, but eat normally the other 5 days, all right? So basically, you need to fast twice a day. Here, I put fasting on Monday, you eat Tuesday and Wednesday, and then you fast again on a Thursday, and then you eat Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. You can shuffle the days as you want. But during the 7 days period, you can actually play with it where you can choose 2 days. Personally, I do not necessarily use this method. I used to use, if you call 6-to-1 method, where I fast once a day and it was every Wednesday. But if you're interested in this one, we can work on this program with you. But always be careful to consult your medical doctor before. When we talk about the blood sugar, you don't want to do it if you're pregnant, and you don't want to do it if you are actually breastfeeding. Okay? So, what shall we remember for this one? Number one, fasting supplies the body with the ideal environment to accomplish its work of healing. Number two, according to the 2014 review of the scientific literature, intermittent fasting can cause weight loss of 3 to 8% over 3 to 24 weeks. So it's actually a great method to help us lose weight. Number three, intermittent fasting helps you eat fewer calories while boosting metabolism slightly. It's a very effective tool to lose weight and visceral fat. Visceral fat, talk about the fat around your belly. Number four, intermittent fasting can reduce insulin resistance and lower blood sugar level, at least in men. This is what the studies have been showing. Number five, studies show that intermittent fasting can improve numerous risk factors for heart disease, such as blood pressure, cholesterol level, triglyceride, and inflammatory markers. So this is actually, once again, the reason we think that you may want to look at it. But that will be between the 9 to 12 weeks of the program. Number seven, intermittent fasting may have important benefits to brain health. It may increase growth of new neurons and protect the brains from damage. Once again, these are all information from the studies that you can actually also read on your own on the internet. Number eight, studies in animals suggest that intermittent fasting may be protective against neurodegenerative diseases such as Alzheimer's disease. Okay? And finally, intermittent fasting may help you live longer according to studies in animals. So we hope that you will be trying that, but we'll be working with you regarding this intermittent fasting and how you can go about it. Thank you for your time.